Hello, welcome to the Loop and Bar podcast. My name's Kate and I'm coming to you from North Wales in the UK. I am recording an episode for the first time in about 3 years.
I'll go and check what time it is, okay?
Thank you. And I've got a helper, that's Martha, and she's my little girl and she is 3 and a bit. And she's at home with me.
A big one is pointing to number 2.
Excellent. Oh, right. Is it really? Yeah, she's right. It's 2 o'clock. Well done, Martha. Yeah. The little one's pointing to number 2. Excellent. So it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on what day is it? Do you know? Don't bounce on there. What day is it, Boo?
Friday!
Friday afternoon. And Martha's been in nursery this morning, haven't you?
Yeah!
And now we have the house to ourselves for a short while. So I've just thrown my iPad on a surface in front of me. I have grabbed some knitting, I've pressed record, and I'm hoping for the best here. Because I've been wanting to do a podcast episode for ages now, but not had the opportunity. So as I said, we're back in North Wales. We were in Devon the last time I podcast. Martha was a baby. We're back in North Wales. We are house hunting currently and residing with my parents-in-law, and officially now because I got married. We got married, should I say. And so we're living with Avion's parents temporarily while we house hunt, which is it feels like it's taking a long time to find somewhere, but we've got a very specific criteria, so it probably will take a while. I'll keep you updated on that. So anyway, while everyone's out, I'm going to show you a little bit of knitting. I'm going to just dive straight in. I just want to finish my tea. What I should have said is that I hope you're all well. And I hope that you've all been finding comfort in your knitting over the last couple of years that have been a little bit crazy and stressful and strange and different. So hoping that you're all well and hoping that you'll enjoy watching a little bit of, sharing a bit of my knitting with me. I'm so rusty. Okay, I'm going to start with what I'm wearing. This is the Solstice cardigan. It is by a lady called Cecily MacDonald. She's the designer.
And I'm wearing a flower top at Sorin.
Yes, with tomato soup on it. Very lovely. You're going to model a jumper soon for me, aren't you? Okay, so we're going to have a lot of assistance in this podcast, I think, which is lovely. Okay, I'm wearing the Solstice cardigan by Cecily MacDonald, as I've just said. I have made a few modifications to it, which I'll go through with you in a minute. I'll show you the yarn. So I completed this cardigan over a year ago. I don't even know when. It's really wobbly, so you'll have to excuse that because the yarn is lovely, by the way, but I have worn it for about a year and a half now, quite consistently. So I'm just going to be picking bobbles off while I'm talking about it. The yarn is Drops Nepal. I think this is an Aran weight yarn. Doesn't say. Oh, maybe it does. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say. It's a wool and alpaca mix, so it's 65% wool, 35% alpaca, and you get 75 meters in a ball of this. I can't remember how many balls I've used to knit the cardigan, unfortunately. I just knit this. I don't think I had any brain space to do anything like recording details of the project, unfortunately. I wish I had now. I don't know even what needle size I knit. I might be repeating myself as well, so excuse me if I do. So the modifications that I've made to this cardigan, I'm going to just stand up and see if I can show it to you full length. So it's an open fronted cardigan, that's the design of it. you will notice that there is a hole in mine. That's intentional, but I sort of regret it in a way. I incorporated a buttonhole. I have yet to put the actual button on. It should go about here, probably. About there. But what I've actually done in haste is add a little hair, a wooden hair, and I just poke it through any old hole. So I don't think I thought that through properly, but I did want to incorporate a buttonhole so that I could do it up, because I like to be able to do my cardis up. A lot of the time, actually, I just get a cable needle and just shove it through. That's what I used to do with my featherweight cardi as well. So that's one modification that I did, and I don't think I did it right. I almost think that I might take some yarn and darn over that so that you can't see it, because I kind of regret the positioning of it. The other modification is the cabling, so down the sleeve. In the pattern, there is a faux cable stitch running all the way down the sleeve, but I decided that I preferred just a plain cable. Again, I can't remember any of the details except for it's a 2x2 cable. Just looks like it's been cabled on like every 4 rows or something like that in the same direction. Can't remember, sorry. And the other thing I've done is, so in the pattern, what you should do is attach this. It's supposed to be a shawl collar, which looks really lovely. But I think what I as far as I can remember, I might have added extra stitches here to make this wider, because I wanted to be able to cross over and close it. And in doing so, forgot that then it wouldn't match up very well with this part, which you are supposed to stitch together, creating a shawl collar. And for me anyway, even with doing that, even with stitching that, it kind of made the shawl collar a bit too tight. It wasn't sitting properly. So I decided to, after attaching it and having it like that for a while, I unattached it. So luckily that was easy enough to do. I just opened out the collar. If I were to knit this again, I might find a way to add something here, like a wedge of fabric here, almost in a sort of triangle, which would make a more relaxed shawl collar, because I do like the shawl collar. It just wasn't working very well, like sitting very well on my shoulders. So, and as a consequence of that, I've got this weird end of fluffy yarn here, which is a bit annoying, but I'm living with it. There's no way I can conceal it. It's left from it. I don't know why I've still got that there. There's a bit there as well. I actually, it looks a little bit messy, this cardigan, as I'm showing it to you. Never mind. I just love it. It's so warm and it's keeping me so cosy. If I turn around, I quite like the look of the collar at the back. And the other modification that I made is the pockets. So on the pattern, the pockets are actually a lot smaller than this, and I don't think they've got the rib here. So I made my pocket longer, so deeper. I matched this twisted stitch here, and I also added the rib on the top to flow and match what's underneath it, because you've got that ribbing there. I think in the pattern the pocket's really tiny and you can't even get your hand in it, and I wanted to be able to put my hands in it like this and put my phone in it and the phone not fall out. So I'm really happy with the pocket modification actually. So I really love this cardi. I wear it all the time. I wear it over other jumpers, and it's just a fabulous autumn winter cozy layer. So I highly recommend it. It's a really fun knit. There's lots of different stitches. You knit flat, so backwards and forwards, and then of course you knit the sleeves circular. So so possibly I must have altered my needle size to knit the sleeves, because my gauge when I knit flat is different to when I knit in the circular, but I seem to have got the gauge okay. So I wish I could remember needle sizes, but I can't. So that's my Solstice. The next thing I'll show you is, so a long time ago I showed you some yarn that I hand dyed, and I'm just going to show you it again quickly. I can't actually remember what the original base was. I've got a feeling this is, it might be Knit Picks. What's the other one? Knit Picks, it might be a Knit Picks sock base, and I dyed it acid dyed with just some powder dye. In Devon, so this is going back 2.5 years at least. In fact, no, I dyed it while I was pregnant with Martha. So do you want to help me show this jumper by putting it on? Model it on the podcast. Yeah, okay, right, pop this on then. So what I've knitted with this yarn, sorry, I got distracted there. So I dyed the yarn, I had about 3 skeins. I already knit one jumper for Martha when she was really little, which she wore and has grown out of now. And so then I liked it so much that I knit another one. And you're nearly grown out of this one, aren't you, Martha? Whoops. But we're still squeezing it on her because I love it. I love this jumper so much. Right, okay. Just turn around so we can get it nice and straight. That's it. Don't pull it too much down. That's it. Arms out like a scarecrow. That's it. Okay, now can you come and stand here? That's it. So this is the jumper that I knit for Martha. And shall I get you to stand on the stool with me so everyone can see your jumper? If you
I'll stand on a different
Lovely.
stool,
No, that's okay. You can just stand there, look.
No.
So basically it's knit in the round, and what else can I say about it? I don't know what needle size, what size needle I used. She's gone. I don't know what needle size I used. I'll just show you the yarn again because the jumper's walked off. This is it caked in a ball, balled in a cake, wound into a cake. And it's a fingering weight. It is a sock yarn, I know that much. I think it's a Knit Picks sock yarn. I bought a load of blue as well, so I could, if I had thought about this before switching on, pressing record, I could have got the ball band from upstairs, but I forgot. So anyway, you just saw the jumper. Can I show the jumper again? Do you want to come back and give everyone another little look at it? When she's finished the Duplo, she'll be back. So I cast on I did some calculations based roughly on her chest measurement, her sizes. Here she comes. Okay, stand here then. Can you just go quite close, because I want to show everyone the little roll collar. So we've got a little roll collar here, and that little bit of sort of very pale lilac-y, pinky is a wool barn yarn, and I think that might be a sock twist or something like that. And she's gone again. So I just made some measurements, some calculations. It's a my pattern, as in it's just one I've made up. It's not one a written and bought pattern. So yeah, just cast on in the round at the top, and possibly worked a few extra increases here to drop the front neckline a bit, I think, possibly. Raglan increases for each sleeve, and just a really simple stocking stitch with, I'm looking at the jumper to remind me, with a little bit of 2x2 ribbing around the bottom. And it still fits her, and that's brilliant because she's been wearing it for a year and a half. So I've still got some left. I think I've got this much left. It's probably not enough to knit a jumper for Martha anymore, unless I just did front and back and then I did the sleeves in something different maybe. But there is a new baby going to be born in a few weeks into our family, and my stepsister's having a baby.
And it's Margot.
Okay, tell everybody what the little baby's going to be called.
Margot.
She's going to be called Baby Margot, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a little girl.
And Auntie Esther.
Yes, from Auntie Esther. Yes, that's going to be her
Still
mum.
in her boots. I mean,
Where is she? She's still inside Auntie Esther's tummy, isn't she?
Yeah.
Or womb. I like to use the correct anatomical terms with my child. Right, so I've moved very swiftly on to the next project here. I'm going to show you a work in progress. So sorry if this feels like it's going a bit quick. It's quite hard to concentrate in. But I'm determined to show you some knitting. So we are knitting. I am knitting for baby Margot, and she is due in a few weeks. She may be born a little early. We don't know, and she's predicted to be small, a small baby. So I'm knitting a Purpurium cardigan, and I've written down the name of the designer. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's the Purpurium by Kelly Brooker. Because I'm recording on the iPad, I don't know yet until I try editing whether I can put anything on the actual screen. If I'm not able to do that, I will put everything in the information below in the YouTube bit down bar thingy. Link, well, with names of people who have designed patterns and things. So I'm knitting the Purpurium, the newborn, in this beautiful yarn. I shared a little video reel of it on Instagram. I bought this a couple of weeks ago. It's the softest yarn in the whole of the universe. It is so
Excuse
lovely.
me.
Oh, okay. Oh, and it's getting more bricks. So
I'm
you're taking
bringing
your basket.
a basket.
Lovely. Oh, good. Good. Well done, Boo. You taking your basket back over there? Yeah. Okay. See you in a minute.
Bye.
Yes. So the Purpurium cardigan is designed for a DK weight. Sorry about that noise. Let Martha tip her bits out. Nearly there. Okay, pretty much there. So the Purpurium cardigan is designed for a DK weight yarn, so that's what I bought. I'll just show you the ball band again, even though you've just seen it. And it's a mix of cotton, 47% cotton, 43% acrylic, and then some polyamide and viscose in there. So the cotton, oh my gosh, it's so soft. I think it's going to be a nice combination of soft and warm, but not too warm, and it's so light and airy. It's just beautiful, so it's not going to be heavy for the baby to wear, because she'll probably have other layers underneath. And so, yep, show you it again. It's got a lovely tweedy bits in it. It's got lovely tweedy bits in it, and it's, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but hopefully you can see that it's a chain yarn, chain construction, chain woven. Don't know what the correct term is. I think you'll probably know. And it's very beautiful. And I am knitting it on the recommended needles. So I've got my Addy Click interchangeables, which are some of my favourite needles. Size 4mm, I believe. 4. There's a lovely cape. I've wound that on my ball winder. And here is the cardigan so far. So it's curling a little bit at the moment, but it'll be fine once I've blocked it. So this is what we've got so far. It's so tiny. I've knit so many of these before for other babies, and I knit a few for Martha when she was born. This pattern is just so lovely. You can keep the sleeves short or you can knit them long. I've always knit this with the short sleeves, but I am going to do long sleeves for this one because baby Margot is a winter baby, so it's just helpful to have long sleeves, especially if she's small. She's going to need to be kept cozy and wrapped up. So front and back. It's a really nice simple design. Again, you knit this flat, obviously because it's a cardigan, And what I like about it is that the front of the cardigan, or the buttons rather, are down the side. So if the baby is lying on her tummy, say on mummy's chest, or if she's in her baby carrier, she's not going to have the buttons sort of pressing against her. I mean, I'll use flat buttons anyway, but it's just quite nice. And they're designed because it's supposed to be easy for a new parent to put on to a baby if you've not got much baby dressing experience. So that's the inside, and it looks really beautiful in, well, I know that's reverse stocking stitch, but you can see what the yarn would look like knit with garter as well. It's really pretty with those tweed nips coming through. The only thing I've done differently to the pattern is that I've done rib at the bottom. I think in the pattern you would do this garter stitch. I've kept the garter stitch at the top because I think it looks lovely. And in the pattern you would do a few rows of garter at the bottom, but I've done 2x2 rib, and I will do the same at the bottom of the sleeves, I think. So, and yeah, I bought 2 balls. I don't know why I bought 2 balls actually of this now, thinking about it, for such a tiny cardigan. I thought I'd need 2, but I mean, I've nearly finished. The sleeves aren't going to take a heck of a lot more, to be honest. They're certainly not going to finish this ball of yarn just to do the sleeves. So I've got, let's say, half of that plus a whole of the ball left. So I'll have to think of something to knit. I'll just show you the buttons. I'll have to think of something to knit, something else to knit with that. Maybe I could do her a little pair of leggings or something with it, because they're just so soft. And here are the buttons. I just got some little green, minty green buttons with little stars on. So they'll go down the side here, and they fit. I've tested them in the hole, so that's quite good. And that's been a really enjoyable knit. I literally cast this on just 2 days ago. I don't get a lot of knitting time because so Martha's in nursery for 2 hours a day, so just in the morning between 9 and 11, and it's a 15-minute drive from here to get down into the village where her school is, and so some of that 2 hours for me is taken up with driving to go and get her or drop her off. So sometimes I stay in the car and knit, other times I come home and get on with things, or I go shopping, but I don't get lots of knitting time because I'm with Martha for the rest of the time. I'm a full-time mum. Haven't gone back to work since Martha was born because we decided that I would be at home with Martha until she goes to school for longer hours. So we just do things together in the afternoon or go out. Sometimes we listen to story CDs, and then I get to do some knitting while Martha does bricks or just lays and listens to a story, so that's quite nice. And I do a little bit in the evening. So I suppose I'm getting my knitting time back now, a little bit more than I did when maybe 6 months ago I didn't have as much time to do knitting. So, I've got another, I think that's my only whip actually. Whip, haven't said that for so long. Work in progress. I have got a finished object, another one that I can share with you. And I knit these quite a while ago, and I haven't worn them because firstly I wanted to save them and show them on the podcast before I wore them. And secondly, I actually feel like I've knit them slightly too small, so they're a bit snug. So I don't know how much wear I'm going to get out of these. I might have to find somebody else who finds them more comfortable than I do. And that's nothing to do with the pattern, it's just purely a little bit of a size issue, and you just don't know till you knit something how well it's going to fit. The other thing I did was one of the modifications may not have worked in my favour, so I will show you what they are, and then I'll talk about the modifications and mistakes. So it's the Fine and Dandy Sock by Jessica Gore, and I think that the light is making the colour explode a little bit, but it is quite a bright colour, the yarn, and the quality's not coming out very good, but anyway, that's the best I can show you really, I think. There is a photograph of these on my Ravelry if you want to see it and a little bit better. Modification, so I've knit a German row heel instead of the heel flap, which is what is in the pattern. But actually I'm not sure if this is deep enough for my heel because it seems to pull away a little bit. So I think if I knit another pair of socks, I'm not doing the German row heel. I love knitting the German row heel. I really like the technique, but actually don't think it fits my foot, unfortunately. What I like about the German row heel as well is that it gives you the chance to do the contrasting heel quite neatly. But there's no reason why you can't do a contrasting heel with a heel flap as well. I've done a contrasting toe, but looking at it now, I think I have done too much of the contrast. I wish I'd knit the pink a bit further and done, because it makes my toes look just really, really long. When I've got the socks on, just makes my feet look really long. So I made a slight design error there in my modification. That's nothing to do with the pattern again, it's my fault. Oh yes, and a mistake that I did was that after so it's toe up, I believe. Yeah, it's a toe up pattern, or yes it is, yeah. And so when I stopped here to do the German short row heel, you knit that, you knit this flat with German short rows, and then you put the main sock yarn back on. Once you've done your heel, you rejoin, and then you continue knitting the sock in pattern. Well, I think if you can notice, you can see what I've done. I've completely forgotten to knit the flower pattern on the back of the sock, because I think I was probably just continuing on from what I'd done on the foot there. You don't knit them on the base of the foot, which is quite unfortunate because it would have looked so much better. I don't know why I'm putting it on my hand. It would have looked so much better with the flowers all around, because that is what the pattern tells you to do. I noticed it far too far into the sock, and I just didn't want to pull back the sock, so I just continued, and I knit the second one the same so that they matched. And the flower stitch, I needed a bit of practice to get the flower stitch. I think it looks really pretty. I kind of liked doing it, but it took a few attempts to get the technique right for me. And for the third loop, because you have to pull up loops, you have to pull up a series of loops to create the flower stitch. And on each flower stitch you have to pull 3 loops up over a series of stitches. And the third loop, I just couldn't do it just with a needle alone. I had to use a crochet hook. And I suppose it was a bit fiddly, but I got used to it, and I quite liked it really in the end, because it made it interesting to knit. So those are that's about the fine and dandy socks. I don't know if there's anything else. I'll just read my notes to see if there's anything else I need to tell you. I used 2 strands of the yarn. I haven't showed you the yarn. So it's the socks, yeah. I've got the label. The main pink yarn is this yarn, Socks Yeah by Coop Knits, and there's all the details there. I'll just hold it there for you. It's a fine superwash merino wool with 25% nylon. I don't know what needle size I've used, but it might be on my Ravelry. Sorry, I should have looked that up before. Hold it up to the camera so everyone can see, then that's it.
I need a different top.
The colour is ruby.
Socks, Mummy.
You can put them on if you like. Do you want to hold it up to the camera so everyone can see? Hold it nice and still. That's lovely. And then show the heel, look. Show them the heel there. So for the heel, the yarn that I used, bearing in mind the heel is knit flat, the rest of the sock is knit in circular, so the gauge was slightly different. So I had to use a slightly thicker weight of yarn. So I wanted to use this yarn for the contrasting heel and toe, which I have used, and that is the Semilla Extra Fine 100% organic wool. Really nice yarn. Got a feeling I might have showed this on the podcast before. But I held it with 1 strand of this, which I do not know what it is. It is out of my deep stash. I've got no idea. It looks like a mohair. It's definitely a lace weight. And so I held those 2 together and got that heel out of it. I'm a bit regretting it because I know that this is a superwash, or is it? Actually, I don't know that. No, this is hand wash. So these are hand wash. So when I wash that sock, inevitably put it in the washing machine, which because I probably will do that by accident, I am probably going to shrink the heels and have to cut them out and redo the heels. So I think that was a bit of a not very well thought through modification actually to my sock. Never mind, we'll have to see. I might never wear them anyway, so it probably won't matter, will it? Oh, flying through. I feel like I'm flying through. There is one of the socks in the background. I think Martha's filling the other one with toys, so perhaps they can just be stockings, Christmas stockings. It's not a bad idea, is it? So the last thing I'm going to show you knit-wise before I say goodbye, because I feel like I have been lucky so far to get this far.
I need your help a minute.
Oh, okay. What do you need my help
making
with?
a little chain bag. For shopping. Pretend to shop in a Tesco, and can you get something for me from Tesco? It's really high up.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute. So, hopefully I'll be able to have edited the last interruption out. And I can talk about my last main whip work in progress, and I'm very excited about this because I'm finally using my brush stroke yarn, which I've got to get the ball band for. It's the brush stroke yarn by Blacker Yarns. I've got a huge ball of it here. That's about 2 or 3 balls wound into one, and it's a beautiful sort of heathered purple colour. It's coming across maybe a little bit more pink. If I hold it a bit closer to me, that's probably more true to the colour. I think the lighting's gone a bit, so the video quality's gone down a bit. Apologise for that really. But that's the yarn. And here is the ranunculus that I'm knitting. Oh yeah, that's better if I hold it like that. You can probably see the pattern a little bit better. I love knitting on this. It's absolutely beautiful. I could probably tell you more about it than I'm going to be able to actually remember right now, because I think my concentration level's going down a bit.
Mummy,
I'm going to put it on.
Mummy, I don't know how to do this.
You just use the water on it.
I don't know how, but it's
I think my podcasting time is up.
But
Sorry, babe.
it's not. But a colour's not using its colour.
Oh, okay. Turn the page and try a different one.
Okay.
Try on that one. Oh, there you go. There's a new one. Try that one. I think that will be better. Right. Okay. So, sorry. Here it is so far. I love the fit. I can't remember any details about this. I've written a few things down in my book, so I'll show you. I am going to knit the longer sleeves, I think, but then again, I actually really like it with the short sleeves. I'm not sure. What do you think? Do you think I should keep the short sleeves or knit longer sleeves?
Keep a short sleeve.
Do you like it like this? It does look quite pretty like this, doesn't it? I mean, in which case it's nearly finished. I'm not sure, because I got this far. I have knit all the way down and I have cast off at the bottom. A bit hard to show you because the sofa's there, so I'll just have to bend to show you the back. Sorry, that looks really weird probably, but anyway, you get to see the back of it. Oh, I love how it hangs. There's a weird bit here. I think I knitted with some yarn that I had knitted with and then what's the word, frogged, and so the gauge is funny in that couple of inches, and I'm hoping that when I block this, which I haven't done yet obviously because I haven't finished knitting it, that will even out a bit. Anyway, I don't think I care. Oh, I love this pattern, it's just so beautiful. It's the first ranunculus I've knit, but it will not be the last. I think I will follow a lot of people's examples and knit seasonal versions of it. So I think this will be my autumn stroke winter. It feels really warm. The wool is beautiful. It's rustic, but it's soft. It's just so lovely. You can't buy this wool anymore. yarn, and when I bought the yarn originally a few years ago, I didn't really know what I was going to knit with it, and I don't know why, but I only bought 7 balls of it. I think I thought at the time that was enough to make a sweater, but it's not enough to make a lot of sweaters, as in lots of different patterns would require more than I had yardage wise. But I found that the ranunculus, it's more, I will have more than enough. This is what I've got left, and there's a lot of yarn here because it's quite tightly wound, and I only have to knit the sleeves. So I think if I opt for a 3/4 length, I'll easily do it. But I'm looking at it now and thinking I might just put a bit of ribbing and that's it, and just keep it like this because I really like it. What do you think? Let me know your opinion. So I've cast on the pattern. On the pattern you can, I haven't told you who the designer is.
And I'm just doing my
You're just doing your what?
magic painting book.
Magic painting book. Yeah, you can show that in a minute if you like, Boo. So I think the designer is called Midori Hirose. You probably already know because I bet you've seen loads of other podcasters knitting this. And the how I know about the ranunculus sweater is because I came upon a wonderful podcast which I'm sure you'll be familiar with, and that is Little Big Knits with Selma, and she's in Canada. And she's knit quite a few of these, and she was doing a ranunculus along. So anyway, that's where I got the inspiration from to knit this pattern. If you've got yarn and you feel like you haven't quite got enough yardage for a jumper, it's worth looking into the ranunculus. You can knit, it's so diverse. You can knit with lace weight, you can knit with probably with an Aran or a worsted. I'm knitting it with, what weight is this yarn? See, I think that this is actually a sport weight yarn. I'm pretty sure that's what it says on the label as well. So yeah, it's a sport weight yarn. I don't have any details on gauge at the moment, but I think I'll put them in the Ravelry page because I can get the details off the jumper for the gauge. I'm knitting on 7mm needles. I did a bit of sort of educated guessing, calculating to try to determine how many stitches to cast on and whether I needed to modify that, because I'm knitting with totally different yarn and needle size to what the pattern tells you to. But then I think a lot of people have done that as well, and in the end I ended up just literally sticking with the pattern stitch counts, and it's just by chance has turned out to be perfect. A lot of ranunculus that you will see on Ravelry have a much wider neckline, and I think that is what is intended in the design. I wanted my neckline to be pretty much like this, so it's just by a little bit of a miracle really that the neckline's worked out exactly how I want it.
Mum, can I sew it now?
Yes, go on then, because I wanted to keep my neck warm basically. It's the whole point of knitting with a woolen sport weight yarn, is to have a garment for me that's nice and warm, so I couldn't be happier. With the neckline, I followed the instructions for the wide neck, and like I say, I've used 7mm needles. Martha's just going to show you her painting.
Oh.
I'll help you. So sorry about that. I'm just going to switch medias now. Media. From knitting to, come and show it then. You stand here. Magic painting. What animal is that, Martha?
I think a unicorn with feathers, Mummy.
A unicorn with feathers, a flying unicorn. Do you want to finish painting her feathers and then you can show it again in a minute? Yeah, okay, go on then. I'll just talk about my ranunculus a bit more and then you can show that. And then we'll say goodbye. Right, where was I? Yes, so 7mm needles for the whole of the thing except for the bottom of the ribbing. So I started on 7mm needles, so this rib is in 7mm needle, and the whole thing's knit circular, and it's a yoke, so there aren't any raglans. I've never knit a yoke. Oh, have I? Maybe I have once before. Anyway, I'm really enjoying knitting the yoke. That's beautiful. It's lovely. And I went down to a 5.5 and did a 1x1 rib, which I think is in the pattern anyway. I just wanted a smaller needle size from the bottom of the rib because I quite like the way it goes in a bit. This bit's so annoying. I hope that blocks out. Can you tell what's happened? Anyway, I quite like the way it pulls it in a little bit there, just at the bottom. So, and I like the way it's quite boxy and roomy. It feels so cosy and it feels so lovely, and I love the colour and I just love this project. Oh, it's one of my favourite things that I've knit. So I better get this finished really. I'm going to finish that little baby cardigan first. That's my priority in case baby comes early, because she might. And because I've got to send it in the post as well. And then I can finish. I keep just doing that. It just looks really weird.
I just want now.
That's all I can say about the ranunculus, I think, because I can't actually remember what I've already said.
What is this, Mummy?
I used a German twisted cast on.
What is this?
That is a phoenix. You want to colour it in and see what colour it is?
A
Phoenix, yeah. Is there anything else I need to tell you about this? No. Gosh, I love it so much. So I think that I will probably be knitting more of these. I would love the idea of doing a spring version in a lighter, more open yarn.
sew it now.
Can you do the feathers first? And then can we show it?
But at feathers.
I think that's all of my knit chat. I'll show you something very quickly that I sewed. Shall we show your apple bag? So Martha goes to nursery every morning. Don't you, Martha?
And with my apple bag.
And you're allowed to take a piece of fruit, aren't you, every day? So Mummy sewed you a bag to put your fruit in. Do you want to show
look
it to
at
everyone?
it.
Stand back a bit. That's it. Hold it up high. Yeah, so it's got a box bottom and it's got a drawstring top. Do you want to close it? Show everybody how you close it.
Yeah.
So once you put your apple in it, you close it like this, don't you? I'll help you. Like that. Oh, it's got a thread sticking out of it. It's been a long time since I did any sewing, so I sort of forgot how to do the top drawstring bit. Whoops, we've got a loose thread there. So that's Martha's apple bag, and I love it, and I actually think I want to do a knitting project bag out of this. It's got a pink floral lining. I've just used a bit of lace for the drawstring, and there is an applique cord apple on the front. That does not mean that you have to put an apple in it though, does it, Martha? Because today you took a pear, didn't you, to nursery and didn't eat it. So that's my little apple bag. I love the size of it. I really want a knitting project bag this size because it's so cute. It'd be just really good for baby knits or sock project. So maybe I'll do a bit of bag sewing again soon, and I will remember how to do the tops, because I constructed this slightly differently because basically it's so long since I've sewn any bags that I forgot how to do them. So it was a good little practice project, and Martha's very happy with it. She takes her fruit in it every day. I did want to embroider her name on it, but to be honest I was in a bit of a rush, and I just wanted her to have a bag for the next day to start school, so I didn't end up doing that. But I think that it would be really lovely if I I could always do it afterwards, embroidered Martha in wool there. Can always do it another time.
And look, and you put our iPad just right next to my magic painting book so I can see it more time.
Well, do you want to just hold it up? Come and hold it up.
No.
And then we'll say goodbye. Shall we do that?
Yeah.
Go on then. Come and bring it over here and you can hold it up.
But can you hold it?
Yeah, I'll hold it up for you. Yeah. Ready? So, do you remember what it's called?
No.
Come and stand here then so you can help me show your picture. This is called a phoenix. So Martha's just been painting in a phoenix. These magic books are fantastic. I'll just show you the front of it. It's Usborne. And Martha does have access to lots and lots of art materials because we're quite creative in our family, aren't we? Well, Mummy is. And I always used to think this sort of thing was cheating, but honestly, these are brilliant. They're just so good. They're no mess. It's just especially good if you're living with in someone else's house and you don't really want to give your child free run with paints, which is what we would do in our own house, but not in this house. And so we do get the paints out as well, don't we? Sometimes, but this is just a lovely thing. She wants it back. Right, there you go. It's just a lovely thing to give them to do, to occupy them, and they can just do it with no mess, and you can get on with podcasting or not. I like your owl mask, Martha, as well. That was nice. Right, I'm just going to keep this on and walk around with threads hanging off. This is where I've got my sleeve stitches on hold, as you can see. I will pick those up at some point, and I think I'll keep it short. What do you think? Because I can always wear a thin cosy jumper underneath it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Or maybe a cardi, or maybe I'll just knit 3/4 length, because I do think that looks nice. I've got a 3/4 length sort of t-shirt type thing on. Anyway, watch this space. So hopefully by the next time I podcast, I might have finished it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with it if you have. And it's been so good to podcast finally. I hope the quality's okay. I know it's not as clear and as my previous episodes. You can do it in a minute. And it looks a bit grainy to me, but it's this or nothing at the moment. I hopefully might get back to setting up my camera at some point in my podcasting future if I do continue. And I will perhaps just give a bit more of a life update. Maybe I'll have more to tell you by next time I podcast, who knows.
Look, it's now.
Yes, it's beautiful. Shall we say goodbye? Do you want to come and say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Okay, come and wave. Can't talk anymore. Okay, come and wave. Say thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you for calling. Bye.
Bye bye. Right, okay, you can switch the button now.
That button.